Whoa! Look at those babies! Adorable. What's up, fish fools? Jeff here. So this is my 3.5 gallon Neocaridina shrimp tank. And I was just looking from the top at some of these baby fish, these guppy fry or guppy and Endler hybrid fry. There's maybe a dozen or so. So I recently put this male lime green Endler in here, well, about a month ago. I had two virgin females, this guppy and Endler hybrid right here in front, and this male guppy there. So as soon as I put that male in here, it was only a matter of moments before they weren't virgins anymore. And it was maybe 3.5 weeks until I spotted the first of the guppy fry, and then shortly after that, the next day, another, and then maybe the day after that, there was a bunch more, maybe a dozen or so. And I did also bring two more over from another tank when I surprisingly found two guppy fry in a tank that I would not have expected to find fry, because I would have thought they'd be eaten pretty quick with all the other fish in there, but I did spot the two and decided to rescue them and put them in here. So it's always cool to see fish fry. It's one of the best things about fish keeping. That's the babies. Seeing little tiny baby fish born within your own aquarium is pretty awesome. I remember when I was a kid at home at my parents' house when I was in 7th grade, I had a pair of platies, red wag platies. I had the first tank I had in my room was a 5.5 gallon, and I remember seeing babies for the first time and how awesome I thought that was. And ever since then, I mean, I just loved having fish babies, and that's what really enhanced the fish keeping hobby for me, is having fish babies. So I've had, mostly live bearers. Live bearers are my favorite, because they are the easiest to breed and they have babies regularly. But really, any fish you're able to breed, it's pretty awesome. There was only in my entire fish keeping experience, I've only been able to breed one other type of fish that wasn't a live bearer, one egg layer species, that was Crebensis. Back in the day, I did have Crebensis. When I was a kid also, like the family fish tank that we had in our living room, we had Crebensis, and they had babies in our living room tank. But later, I did have, take some Crebensis in my own tank, and I was able to breed them myself. So that was pretty awesome, and I'd like to get some Crebensis again now that I have as many aquariums as I do now. I have 9. I do have a tank that I plan on getting Crebensis in the future, but that would have to be set up a 10th tank, and I'm trying to keep it under in single digits for now. But down the road, I want to get crewmets again. But I do love having live bear babies, guppies in this tank, or guppies and endlers, guppy and endler hybrids, and platies in my other tanks. The first fish actually born in this particular tank, this 3.5 gallon, I did have platies. They had a few batches, and none of them survived beyond, probably the oldest ones lived up to a month in this tank. But at that time, the parents had the Camellinus worm, so I don't know if that had something to do with it. I've since, this tank has been treated for that, and it was long before I even put these guppies and endlers in here. And I also have, this is my Neocaridina shrimp tank, so of course I have lots of shrimp in here, and that's one thing that's new to me in the aquarium hobby, is having shrimp. And it was cool having shrimplets, little shrimp babies. Along the way, I've made several videos of those. First time seeing shrimp babies was pretty awesome. So a little guppy right there, or guppy endler hybrid. But yeah, so these are, I guess about a week old now. So I was trying to do a little experimenting here with these, mixing some genes here. Like this, again, is a guppy and endler hybrid born in my guppy and endler hybrid tank. And then there's a wild guppy right here, born in my tank that has wild guppies, or feeder guppies, or common guppies, or whatever you want to call them. So curious to see what kind of babies these are going to look, what these babies will look like when they grow up, or when they start developing colors, maybe. And maybe as soon as a couple weeks from now, but maybe a month from now, we'll see. Alright, so this is my 3.5 gallon Neocaridina fish tank with a little update on the fish in here. And I do want to show you one other thing, so stand by. Alright, so while I'm on the subject of baby fish babies, guppy fry, I have some guppy fry in here. There's one right there. There's several of them in here, at least a half a dozen or so, at least. One there in the back. It's hard to see sometimes with the, this being a bowl where it's rounded, it distorts the view. Like you might notice that when I show my 3.5 gallon tank, there's it's like a five-sided tank, and it has rounded edges. So when I move around those edges, it's kind of distorts the view. But so it's like that with this bowl. So this bowl, just for the hell of it, I moved into this, in front of a window here, so it can get some light. Hey, creature. And I did that because I had, you can see more guppies there, more guppy fry. So I had this bowl, and I just threw some Java moss in it, and it was just in the dark. And just for the hell of it, I wanted to see if I could revive that Java moss. So I put it here in the light, and it seems to be recovering some with some new clean growth. And that is a shrimp right over here. I put a couple shrimp in this. This is the one I did my my poor attempt at a April Fool's joke, where I was, said I was putting a Aquaclear 50 on a 1 gallon bowl. It was basically just resting it on top as a joke. But so here on top I have is a piece of Mopani wood. I bought that I purchased from, I ordered a bunch of driftwood online from Drs. Foster and Smith before Drs. Foster and Smith stopped existing. And I put it on here because, well, to keep my cats from getting in here without a lid, so it serves as a lid. So those guppies, I had like this female guppy right here. You can see she is crooked. I just moved her out of my wild guppy tank, and basically just put her in here to die. Not to, so that she could, not to make her die, but just to remove her from the other tank and just to live in here until she dies. Then she goes and has some babies, and the babies look fine and healthy. And even like that tank where I have these guppies, they seem fine, and then they're not born crooked like this, and then they just, over time, some of them just somehow became crooked. That's one of them. And creature wants to play. But yeah, so there's no filtration, just 1 gallon of water. Really just for the hell of it, I was just gonna keep some plants in here. You can see some bladder snails in here, and put some shrimp in there. On the top here I have Ricky fluitans and some duckweed, and that's spreading. I just put in a little bit now that the Ricky fluitans is almost covering the entire top. And yeah, so now there's guppy babies in here. So, I don't know. For now, that's just where they're going to be. Might figure something else out to do. Figure something else to do with them later. All right. Well, that's it for now. And remember, I'm Jeff, and I enjoy fishies. Thanks for watching.